Give you an example. She would come into a South Asian Bar Association meeting and she'd be like, namaste, and, like pander to that group. But a lot of us actually, most of my friends in that association are liberal. We would comment on the fact that she only seemed to be Indian actually when she was asking for money from Indian Americans. And then she would abandon that. She did nothing for my client who was Indian American in the civil rights case. She had zero record of advancing anything having to do with our community when she had power. So I think it's curious that people continue to fawn over her as that kind of a candidate. And so I think she's just she's a chameleon, and that's a fair criticism of her. She's taken on whatever mantle can help her get ahead. I mean, you see this ludicrous accent that she's put on it. By the way, I grew up in rural North Carolina. I actually grew up in a segregated town in rural North Carolina in the 1970s. And, she ain't from rural South, and she is not part of that persona. They don't talk like that in Jamaica, where her family really is from. And so
total fraud.
I think it's a distraction, though. I completely agree with Vivek. The hyphenated American thing is so passé. America is a beautiful country, and every single American deserves civil rights, equal protection, due process, and predictability. And President Trump, when he talked at the RNC convention.
Anyways, what's up, guys? How we doing tonight? Wow, we got some stuff to talk about tonight. Don't we? Yes, we do. How's everybody doing? Hope you are well. Good to see you all. Please like, subscribe, share, and I do mean share, guys. Hey, if you don't mind and you see me on Twitter, just repost. Takes 2 seconds. Please help me grow the channel. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to cover the most important stuff, the stuff that changes lives, changes elections, changes narratives, getting it out there as much as I can, and I need you guys supporting me. Thank you very much. So likes, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And tonight, holy smokes, we got a lot to talk about with this crazy market. My God, absolutely just torched today. Who knows where this is going, but listen, you never know when it's the beginning. You never know it's the beginning of the end of a bull market. But my God, it sure looks like we might be there. And that is crazy to me because everything said that the rate cuts should induce everybody to go up, but the economy might really be that broken. So let's talk about that tonight, what's possible, talk about how we really are in recession. I don't care what anybody says anymore. It is on, the data is there, and it's catching up to the market. And then I just got a whole lot of crazy one-hit wonders tonight, little lies going on, little crazy stories got to cover. And including Israel, Iran, some political stuff, and latest polling news, all that. So strap in, guys. We got a lot to cover tonight in our time. So Thomas Dubois, number one tonight, and Thomas, number one in our hearts, as we're praying for you, buddy, pulling through in that cancer. So good to see you, brother. Susan, number two, and Silent G, number three. Congrats on the third. What's up, Butters? Vinman, Vince in the house. The Vins, Oscar, Bugo, Kryptonian, and Donna. What's going on? The one, what it do? Darren, Erod. It's hard to say yours, man. You got a lot of stuff in there. Daniel Crawford, C. Parker, Tom FP, Andy Brewer, Mike, Danielle, Henry Perez, Anastasio, Ireland, Damit Sean, Drew Stavala, Rondell, Kathy Blue 5 Fro Girl, Mad Max. Should we get green market next week? Oh, who knows? Who knows at this point? Maybe this is just a quick correction, but I'm telling you, I think job numbers tomorrow might make it worse. Do I mind opening with the prayer and fish one too? I might eventually do that, Billy. We'll see. We'll see. I'll pray about it and see how I feel about it. Thank you, Drew. Repost me on X. Thank you, Darren. She's a politician. That's what they do. Lie, cheat, and steal. That is true most of the time. but usually it's about what they'll do or how they'll do things. And when you flat out lie about your entire identity for jokes, for jokes and votes, it goes a whole different way. Now, I know lately it's been more of a staple to do so, but it needs to be completely called out and made known. Blue 5 properly assign a war. We'll get there. Pat Ciccio down in Old Bolio. What's up, man? Welcome. I didn't recognize you in the chat, so good to see you. Nan Sadek, AMC, try and keep your sanity with GTII. There's stuff coming with GTI, hopefully. I have hope. I do. GDC's green for you. Nice, the one. Hopefully that does go around like Ham tweeted. Kathy, what's going on? Mad Max market mysteriously gets torched during possible short squeeze. One or more. That happens sometimes. I wouldn't say all the time though. All right, let me pull this up because we got a lot to talk about in the markets. A lot, because today was absolutely nuts and completely unprepared for. Nobody saw this coming, except for the people behind the scenes. But as far as analysts, everybody thought yesterday, people were rejoicing. Rate cuts in September. Hallelujah, Jesus. Rate cuts are coming. We are good. This is going to be amazing. And the market said yes. And earnings said no. And jobless claims came in much higher than expected, and manufacturing came in much lower than expected, and earnings has disappointed everybody except for Apple because they have a deal with the devil. But everything else came in and the market said, and holy smokes, Dow at one point was up 280 today, finishes down almost 500, down 700 at one point. So finishes the day 1.2% down. S&P down 1.3%. NASDAQ absolutely destroyed, negative 2.3% today, 400 points. This is nuts. 2 nights ago, I talked about tech sell-off in the NASDAQ, how it's been getting crushed lately. The next day, it made me look stupid as NASDAQ went up over 300 points. But today, it went back, and NASDAQ gets crushed again. That is the 6th or 7th day in the last 2.5 weeks where NASDAQ's been absolutely crushed. This is just a trend right now. The great tech sell-off continues. And tomorrow, we're getting a jobs report, and I think it's going to be an ugly one. I really do. Even if the initial headline number isn't bad, the behind-the-scenes numbers is going to be ugly. Just wait. I'm telling you right now. And they are anticipating it. Look at pre-market, still bleeding. 140 down, Dow, S&P 23, NASDAQ down 112, just bloody everywhere. And today, it really freaked people out. It is really freaking people out today, as I saw all across Twitter and everywhere else, because they did not see this coming. They were expecting the bump. They were expecting the rate cut coming bump. So Midnight Mermaid with the 5 memberships. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciated. That's Vio's in. Lechner. Craig Donor's back. Strength in numbers. Jacked to the tits. Welcome. I'm jacked. Welcome. You made me say it by calling out your name before I was really realizing what I read. So there you go. She happened to say the word pecan. Mantan, what's up? You got a put on Tesla and AMD. Wow. Good for you. Clear manipulation. No rate cuts this year, says George. We'll see about that. I think Powell is going to be forced into it. But maybe you're right. VO relaxes. We are burdened by what has been. We are. Well, it's true. Danielle, you sold your SPY puts today at 550. Didn't think it would keep tanking. Need Carvana to tank soon. Oh, man. I mean, it's all on the table right now, Danielle. Mad Max stock alerts called out the only green stock from $3+ Monday up to $9 is green all week. Wow. That's a good call right there. Yeah, Amazon's going down. So let's go through some of the ugly news here. And that's not the one I was looking for. All right, so Here's what we saw right now with job openings. All right, this is some of the stuff. This is why we're in a recession now. This is what they don't want you to know. They want you to think the economy is great. They want you to think we're humming along. They want you to think that Biden is the greatest president of all time, and he did it all in one term. And hallelujah, he's amazing. Wow, Biden. Thank you, Joe Biden. Thank you for everything. That's what they want you to believe. They want you to believe that Kamala is going to come in and keep this going, and they want us to all think we're stupid. And just doubt our own experiences. They want us to forget that we're paying double at the pump. They want us to forget that we're paying 40 to 50% more on our food. They just don't want us to notice those things. They want us to read these numbers and say, look how amazing we are, as Jim Cramer goes on and on. But they can't hide. They can't hide even with pumping the markets, even with pumping the economy with trillions of dollars. Today, breaking U.S. job openings declined to 8.18 million in June, down from 8.23 million in May. That's lowest level since 2021. Why since 2021? Because there were still lockdowns in 2021. Not all the blue states had lifted yet. Year over year, job openings fell 10.3%, 23rd consecutive monthly decrease, longest streak since the 2008 financial crisis. And yet we're not in a recession. Are you freaking kidding me? This is unbelievable. These numbers are insane. This makes even more sense when what I went over last night about how they're pumping the stock market, because there's no way the stock market should be up right now the way it is. Ratio of vacancies per unemployed worker, metric Fed follows closely, fell to 1.2, lowest since June 2021. The same time, private sector hiring rate declined to 3.7, the lowest level since April 2020. That was the first month of the lockdowns. Private sector hiring, that's taking out the government. Regular people, capitalist markets, the lowest since the first month of lockdowns. This is horrifying. These are horrifyingly bad numbers. Private quit rate, measuring number of people who voluntarily leave their jobs, fell to 2.3, lowest since August 2020. Why? Because people are terrified to lose their jobs. They are holding on to them. This means Americans are least confident they'll find a new job since the pandemic. U.S. labor market's weakening. You think? Look at this, guys. Look at the dip on job openings. And we're supposed to believe it's a strong labor market. Jerome Powell yesterday, our job market is strong. It's not overheated anymore, but it's still strong. These people are lying to our faces non-stop. It's absolutely insane. NVIDIA today. Yesterday broke the all-time record for most market cap added by a stock in a single day, adding 3.3 or 330 billion. Today the stock erased 270 billion. $600 billion swing in just 2 trading days. I told you guys NVIDIA was scary. I tried to tell you. Third largest public company in the world is officially trading like a meme stock. This is not supposed to happen. I thought NVIDIA was never supposed to stop going up. Remember I told you guys, down 27% since its high on June 10th. 27%. It's crazy. All right, Amazon falls over 6% after reporting weaker than expected Q2 revenue. How does Amazon get weaker than expected revenue? Tell me. That's the only place people shop anymore. People don't go to stores anymore unless they have to. They buy everything on Amazon. Amazon runs our economy. And it's down 6%. Crazy. Below expectations by almost a full billion. Including its regular trading hours move, stock is now down 8% today. More problems for big tech. Look at that drop. Just ugly. Ugly. Snapchat, 22% after Q2 earnings. Listen, I don't like Snapchat. I don't get the big deal on it. But for some reason, it's a crazy stock. People love it. Okay, and just crashing. Tech crashing again. I love this tweet. Powell must be crapping in his pants right now. Market bought his shtick for one day, which was yesterday when it was green. Now we head into jobs number. If that's ugly, market could get nasty. Bad news is now bad news. Remember, for months, bad news was good news because all the bad news pointed to rate cuts. And so every time there was bad news, stock market up. Every time. Now bad news is bad news. For a while, bad news was good news because it meant inflation would come down. Exactly. No longer. Inflation is settling. I listened to Daniel DiMartino Booth today. She broke it down. She said in her analysis, their stuff, it looks like inflation is evening out. It's heading down. She thinks it's controlled, which means that if that's really true, bad news now really is going to be bad news the rest of the year. It's just gonna keep destroying it. This market. Look at this recession. Okay. According to UBS Global Wealth Report, decade between 2000 and 2010 saw average annual global growth of 7%. Average GDP growth, 7%. Since then, 4.5%. Wealth is just not being grown anymore. I mean, look, this is crazy. This is not what they want you to know. They want you to believe this is the best economy you've ever seen in your lives. So you're stupid. Okay, they really, really want you to believe you're stupid. Look at Intel, 20% down in after hours. Their earnings came in horrible. Traders were extremely bearish heading in, and it was even worse than expected. Trader rolled it, closing previous 31 posts. Trader up 300% tomorrow. It's just destroyed. This Intel chips. Don't relent. Conditions don't lie. Timing isn't 100% predictable by anybody. Mainstream stealing your headlines daily. Nvidia has been the market's life preserver, but it won't last. Not sure if the duct tape and glue will hold this resilient market together through the election. Isn't that the truth? Guys, this market, it might be turning. Now, I'm not going on a limb and making a declaration that it's for sure we're here. That's just stupid. You can't do that. There's too many factors in the market that are just crazy. But it's hard not to look at all that's going on right now and say that we're in a good place. It's very hard to say that. Now, there's a couple things that are positive as far as the market's concerned. That is the fact that they really believe rate cuts are coming. And honestly, if this keeps getting worse, they are coming. The worst will make them come. All right, because if things are really cratering like this, that means inflation will go down. That means unemployment numbers will go up. Everything that they need to see that it's time to cut rates will happen. So that's where this makes even more likely we get a rate cut in September. But they have that. That's the one thing that might prop up the market. But the numbers are getting worse and worse. The earnings are starting to show it. And guys, just telling you, get ready. Because you need to be prepared either way is my point. Because I think we're heading into something very, very ugly here soon. Okay, let me catch up for a second here with you guys. Alan, you're not as young as me. Please no videos after 10 p.m. Man, I wish I could help you there. I just don't know if I can do that. What's up, technology? Spastic. Bruce Heitman, what's up? Sliver. Democrats don't lie. Come on. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. Fro Girl, nice to see familiar peeps here. We do have a supportive community, and they are amazing. So thanks for saying that. Linda Telly, welcome. Midnight Mermaid, all I got to say, FJB, FKH, F the Olympics. Lost for your religion today after you saw what happened to Angela Carini. I was horrific. I'm going to go over that later. That man just crushing that poor woman in boxing is disgusting. Absolutely crazy. Thomas, did Bezos cash in more stock today? I didn't see it. I did not see it. NVIDIA's the new GameStop. I don't think we'll get there yet. Max, I am going to look at that stock alerts place. I really will. Yeah, what's up, Raiden? They have been late. Listen, I'm doing my best to be on when I can. And I want to be on at 9 every night. That's my goal. 9 Eastern. It just doesn't happen. A1A chart showed the downturn, formed a nice head and shoulders, retested neckline, was rejected today. Down we go. So A1A, in your opinion, do we keep going down for a while? What do you think? Asian markets are dumping? Okay. That's not a good sign. BOJ just raised rates for the first time in a recession. That's how desperate they are to protect their currency. So it's pretty crazy. Cox says, DiMartino Booth said a while back they'll be too late to cut and cut too much. I definitely believe they'll be late, but I don't know if they'll cut too much. Nans, you crossed the 1 year today? You're welcome. Thank you for being here and supporting me. I only have made it this far because of people like you who've supported me for over a year and 6 months, whatever. Listen, I have an incredibly high returning rate of viewers, incredibly high. My subscriber rate on my videos is like 85-90%, which means you guys are incredibly loyal. You stick with me, and I just can't thank you enough for that. And for some reason, my channel is growing very slow, and I think it's because I'm shadow banned. They demonetized my video again last night. That's 6 of 7 now, and they don't like my content. YouTube does not like my content, doesn't want to push it out there. But you guys, my subscribers, keep me afloat, so I greatly appreciate that, because as I'm getting spicier on my channel, the revenue, what YouTube is pushing is drying up substantially. So this was the first month in my entire time being on YouTube that my subscriber count shrunk instead of grew. I've never had that happen before, but this month my subscriber count's down slightly instead of up. So yes. Okay, going out. All right, so got to do something for my daughter. Just give me 1 second here, guys. My internet turns off at night, so they can't be on, but I'm going to give her an exception because she's not feeling well. That's how it's got to be sometimes. How it's got to be. All right. Anyways. So thank you, subscribers. Appreciate it. And please subscribe if you are not subscribed. Judging by the subscribers who've stuck it out, I think most people like what I'm doing. So I really appreciate that. Rum Dog, you're getting paid while listening. That's awesome. Appreciate that. Moody, what's going on? Thank you. Good to see you. Can't get rid of me, John. That's right. Jim, NVIDIA is a better investment than AMC, even with NVIDIA going down. That's sadly true. Thank you, Barbara. I appreciate it. No BS here. This is a no BS zone. People getting fed up with markets and economy. That is very true. This is Ace True Social, something like that. They are checking out, but I also think it's just it's definitely YouTube too. It just is. So okay, so that's where we're at in the economy. Tomorrow, I do think, again, jobs numbers are going to be bad, and I think the market's going to have a really rough day. There might be some news that saves it. And we've had this happen before, where out of nowhere there's a turnaround, because it is all manipulated. Never forget that. But the point is that at some point, the manipulation reaches an end and something breaks and they lose control. That could be where we're at. I don't know if we're there yet, but that could be where we're at. So just, and also remember, guys, the first of the month, which is what today is usually a decent day for the markets. Why? Because that's the day everybody's money from their paychecks is deducted, and all that 401k money pours into the markets on the first. So for us to get absolutely obliterated like we did today is crazy, is absolutely crazy. John says, I need to learn how to speak like a Dem. Instead of an economic downturn, it's the safest economy of all time, and don't say anything about election. That's the truth, right? Iago does not like my words. That's very true. Crypto's in the garbage. Everyone needs to repost this channel on their platforms. Thank you, Drew. Jim remembers what happened in 2008. Yes, and I think it's going to be worse this time. I think we are heading into the worst economic situation we have seen. Now, I could be wrong. Like I said, I very clearly saying I think this is what could happen, but I can be wrong. But my personal belief is, by what I'm seeing and by comparing it to 08 and 2000, 87 and 29, it looks like we are headed into the worst economic situation since 29, the Great Depression. It really does. Everything in 2008 was not fixed. It was they kicked the can down the road and built a bigger bubble. This is going to be very ugly. And I personally, I've been saying all year, all my people will tell you that I do believe things were going to break before the election. I still believe that. I just don't think they can keep it up. I think they've been propping it up for so long that they're going to run out of gas. Maybe I'm wrong. But when it does finally come, whether it's before or after the election, it's going to be ugly, peeps. But it doesn't mean we won't be okay. That's not what I'm saying. This is not a doomsday place. This is a hopeful place, because we get through it. I believe we're heading to the best time we've seen in modern history for our country, if Trump's in, and I believe he's getting in. So that's where we're going. But yeah, things are crazy. LMI believes I'm 100% right about YouTube. Thank you. What'd you miss, Soul Joe? You have to go start at the beginning, my friend. In your opinion, the Fed sold a lot of stocks today. Maybe, but that would be weird timing after what Powell did yesterday. I don't know what that they had gained from that. Market rolling in utilities. Look at Southern Company up over 23%. Well, yeah, that's running to safety. Rum Dog, I am proud. Thank you. Dubois, you're not working because of cancer treatment. No unemployment not counted in stats. That's right. Only those receiving unemployment bids are in the top. You're completely right, Thomas. 100%. Elegant. Cheers. The world's going to crap, but we're cool, calm, collected. That's right. We're going to be okay. Brett, so if they demonetize a video, I'm sure they give the revenue back to the advertiser. No. Yeah. Why would they never. They don't give it back to Kamala, who keeps advertising on my videos. It's going to break before the election, says the one. See, buddy, this is why you and I are simpatico. This is why we're friends, Pam, you have 4,100 shares of DJT. Holy smokes, 4,100, Pam? Wow, you're a patriot. Well, good for you. Holy cow, I wish I could have that much. All right, here, I'll check it out. A1A, we're in recession. They would not have interfered to be pulling out of it, but they didn't want to do that. Oh, of course. Why would they? They never want to. They always got to do it their way. Think we get finger dividend before middle of August? That'd be awesome. I really hope you're right. Okay, let me keep going here because so I think, yeah, all right. So that's the market portion of the show. I got a lot of other things to jump on real quick. Now, just today was crazy, guys. Today was crazy. Like, did you see this? So today in the Olympics or last night, a male boxer was allowed to fight guys in the boxing, 2 of them, and they're just going to be beating these poor women. This is so sick. Now, I read a story that says they're not trans, but they were apparently born and their governments, because they're poor governments, it's like Albania or something, classified them as female at birth, and so they just never changed it, and so now they get to compete in this, even though they have testicles and testosterone and everything. It's sick, and this is being allowed to happen. So anyways, the Olympics continues to get worse and worse is my point. And it shows you, because the Olympics are supposed to be one of the purest things on earth and untouched by politics and all that nonsense. That's mostly how it's been. In recent years, it started getting a little worse, but this tells you how far culture has fallen. And it's abysmal, it's horrifying, and it's sick. And we're at the breaking point now, because it's either we fully go into this and our daughters are at risk and nothing's ever the same, or we fight back and get it back, and things can get better quickly, in my opinion. I believe we're getting there. But this is it's something that should alarm everybody, honestly. And I don't usually share sports stuff, but this is just too big a deal. This is too big a deal because this should never have even been close to happening. But this shows you how the BS of the woke side, the left, okay, and listen, there's plenty of people who got, the Republicans are corrupt too. Yes, many of them are, but it's a different kind of corruption. Okay. And I talk about that kind of corruption all the time. This wokeness is only on the left. It's only on the left. And it's demonic, and it needs to be destroyed. Absolutely, utterly destroyed. We need to be calling it out. We need to be sharing this. We need to show people who aren't awake yet what's happening. And this is the kind of stuff that will wake people up. They'll see this and say, oh, wait, I don't want that. So anyways, this has got to be shared, because this is awful. This is awful. And this is how far it's gone, that this is now happening I'm glad I'm not watching the Olympics. I can't imagine watching this and my kids watch it, like my girls seeing this. This is disgusting. And you know how sick it is? It's even worse than this, because this woman right here who got so beat up and quit, she's bawling at the end of it, says it was, so it didn't feel fair. And then she came around later and said she supported him and said, I hope he wins the whole thing. That's how sick the mind virus has gotten. That even she, who's a complete victim here, turned around and started supporting the abuser. That is sick, and this has to stop. Should have a tranny versus tranny category if they want to see this. Yeah, right. It's completely nonsense. He's a coward. It's everything you guys are saying is actually right. Yeah. Talk about counting to 1,000. Dubois. Yeah. Yes, we have to call evil what it is. That's exactly right. We can't dress it up and pretend evil isn't evil. Randy, Olympics been political platform since Nazis usurped the Berlin Games in 36. I agree it happened then. I do think there's been some pure Olympics since then. But yes, there's always some in there, but nothing like this. Male volleyball player partially paralyzed female. I saw that too, Vin. Yep. Darren, we should have been alarmed a long time ago. Caitlyn Jenner, Woman of the Year. Well, people were calling it out then. They were. But the left just stuck with it. And then they just kept hounding it until they started getting to our kids. And then it just blew up again. And so, anyways, it's crazy. Have to believe she was coerced to say that. Maybe. Or maybe she's just that far. I mean, I saw a guy the other day who was raped by an illegal immigrant. And then the illegal immigrant got deported. And he said he felt bad about that. So that's how sick it gets into some of these people's heads. Okay, moving on. The story now is, well, Hezbollah did retaliate 60 rockets onto northern Israel. And they're vowing a new phase of war. So this is ramping up. We got to pay attention to this too. They want this to happen. Okay? They want this to happen. And I talked about this last night, so this is just an update. If you guys want to hear my whole spiel on this Israel-Iran thing, go watch last night's video. But anyways, this is escalating, and so we need to be praying for the Middle East for sure. I gotta get my buddy on to talk crypto. I know I do. The only reason I haven't had my buddy on to talk crypto yet is he just had a daughter. So he's a new father for a second time, and he's got 2 little ones running around, so he doesn't have any time. She was just born, and he just had a surgery to make sure he can't have any more kids. So he's not up to talking right now, but we'll get there. Sorry, Anthony, if you're watching. Sorry I gave it away. I made put your personal business out there. Moody, why isn't the government of Italy raising hell over what happened? Because actually, she might. That president over there is borderline conservative. So, Doug, you're so many things. Lost so much GTI. It's been tough, man, but it's not over. Arrow, they should have their own division. I agree. Yeah, completely agree. You rolled your 401k into a women's rugby IRA. Now you can pull women's. Are you serious? Is that real, or are you just joking? Because that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Okay, let's keep going. This is crazy. This just came out today about the border. So legacy media, again, willfully spreading Democrat misinformation about the border. CBS glosses over the fact current admin mass imports inadmissible foreigners into the interior of the country now. So busing them or flying them into the middle of the country, all right? They dismiss 46,500 per month from the data with this editorial fig leaf. These figures, so you see this right here? Inadmissible and apprehensions. Look at the apprehensions, how small it is. It's sick. This should make everybody just sick. And then these are the inadmissible aliens. Okay, this is how much has risen in recent years. All right, this is under border czar Kamala Harris. I'm going to say it, border czar, which she is, which they all called her. I don't care. Like, they try to hide it. It's what she is. And this is all on her watch. And this is only it can be purposeful. Okay. But even with all that, these figures do not include entries at official border crossings, otherwise known as port to entries, where Biden admin is processing 1,500 migrants per day through a phone app that distributes appointments to those waiting in Mexico. Can you believe this nonsense? This is an invasion of our country, and it's just sick. It makes me so sick that this is happening. But they want this, and they're going to try. They're not going to succeed, in my opinion, but they are going to try to use all these with ballots, match them up with ballots, and try to steal the election, among other things. And we got to hope and pray that those other things don't happen, whether it's sleeper cells, whatever. But you just don't let this happen unless it's planned. You just don't. I mean, you can see these are the numbers under Trump, okay, and still bad, but this is Let's see, this is under 20,000. So doubled 40,000, tripled 60,000, like more than 3.5 times what was under Trump monthly. It's unreal. It's disgusting, and it should freak everybody out to the point where we get involved, because we can't be black-pilled. That's not an option. If you're black-pilled, you're watching the wrong show. There is no being black-pilled allowed on my show. This is simply a problem that we have to fix, and we have to get involved to fix it. So everybody needs to be stirred to action, because we got to do this. We got to win. Otherwise, this will continue and get worse under Kamala, and our country will be gone in a few years as we know it. And we'll leave much, much worse to our kids and grandkids. And they probably the only way they can get the country back, and if this continues for the next 20 years, 15 years, is violence. And we don't want to see that. We don't want that. We have a chance to do it peacefully right now, and we have to do it. We have to. So just remember this when you're wondering whether or not, if you can do it, if you can be a poll watcher on election day, if you can say something on Twitter or get involved in any little way, it's like, this is the kind of time where you got to get over your discomfort, and we just got to do it. We just got to do it. Just Mike, no notification tonight. Sorry, man. If that guy gets endorsements, you're going to boycott it. Well, yeah, that's crazy. Let's see. He's about to be a free man. Brett, you looked correct. Futures are stable right now. Market might be lighting up really soon. Did they stabilize? I mean, futures are still pretty low. Negative 150 NASDAQ and Dow. That's still pretty crazy. Yeah, I don't know about that. Midnight, trying to get us into wars, allowing child gender surgeries, women getting beat up by men's sports, no longer safe in women's spaces. List goes on. It's evil. Absolutely it is. Yeah, how can anyone vote for this? Midnight, that's the exact right question. How can anybody vote for this? It doesn't make sense. I mean, this is what you're voting for. Make it make sense. All right? Native American, African American, oppressed, competent, hero, scientist, expert, mostly peaceful woman. This is the lies. I mean, it is so disgusting what they do to us, and how the hell, like that poor kid last night who came on my show that I should not have spent so much time on, but I got sucked in. That Jordan guy, he believes all this nonsense. He's completely sucked in, and they are so gone. Then it's not that many people, but it is enough to be a major problem. And I completely agree with you, Midnight. It's just going, it's horrible. I don't know how anybody can look at what's been happening and believe any of their nonsense anymore. Every word they open their mouths and they lie. That's just how it is. I mean, look at Kamala right here. Or actually, did I pull that up? Maybe I didn't. Maybe I don't have it ready. Oh yeah, right here. She can't even answer a question.
Thank you all. Madam Vice President, will you be meeting Evan and Paul when they return?
So she's 20 years younger than Biden, supposed to be able to put together full sentences, although that's debatable. And not since she's been running, she's a candidate for the President of the United States of America, of one of the major two parties. And she hasn't taken a question, interviews, or press conference since she's become candidate, which is now over a week, about 10 days. How is this even possible? This is not how it's supposed to be. But yet they know she's too crazy and too dumb to speak, and they are going to not allow her to speak in front of people until the election happens. They're not going to risk it. Now, she'll have a debate where she's trained for a week ahead of time, all that. But on these off the cuff situations, they won't even risk it, because she's too out there. Shining point. There'll come a point we have to break some rules. There might come a point. If the election is still, I was talking to somebody about this today. If they steal this election, the people won't accept it. They are not going to accept it this time. And I'm just telling you that. I guarantee it. I don't know what that'll look like, whether it's peaceful protests that rise up everywhere and we overturn, and the military doesn't step up because they are part of it, kind of like in Venezuela where they join the protesters. I don't condone violence. I don't want it to get to that point. I hope it does not. But I will tell you that the people are not going to accept a stolen election this time. It's not going to happen. And so what happens then? I don't know. Vin, you think the Dems are running training camps for legal gang members to attack voting centers? Maybe. I mean, I guess that'd be possible. Donald, did anyone see the receipt and illegal left behind? Food total left 13,000, 4,000. I know. Yeah, they're paying them more. The illegals are making money being here at a rate much, much higher than anybody in our country from the government and like welfare, whatever, you name it. The Republicans have no plan to police this election. I disagree with you there. The RNC has is making some plans that I think are very strong. The inevitable is coming. I think Trump is the inevitable. Brett, you're being facetious about the crack market. Oh, okay. I thought you were being real. I was like, what's happening? Is DJT bottoming yet? No. Well, actually, I don't know. That's a good question. I thought you meant something else. Sorry. I don't know if it's hit bottom yet. And this market is very hard to tell. Yeah, the same picture of birth dates saying your birthday is your day. Did I see the deal? Biden, Kamala? The deal? No, I didn't see the deal. Kamala will be in Joe's basement for the next 3 to 4 months, probably. If Camel Toe drops some polls, they may replace her with Michelle. They won't replace her with Michelle. I'm sorry, it's not going to be Michelle. I could see Clinton. I could see Clinton. I could see somebody else we're not expecting, but it won't be Michelle. I'm just telling you, Michelle will not run. She doesn't want to run. She is not a politician. She does not want to put in the work, and she doesn't want to go through the exposure. And she also does not want to, despite all that, she might still run if she thought it was a guarantee to win, and it is not. In fact, it's looking bad. I didn't see the deal. You guys will have to tag me in that. Receipt made you sick. I know. Liquid Skittles. Everything seems like a distraction to another distraction, becoming more insane. It is. It's not just distraction. So I do disagree with this a little bit. And I mostly agree with you. But there is one thing I want to tell you that I think is different than this. And this is what they don't want you to figure out. I think they want you to think it's a distraction to a point. Okay. Part of it is that, but they also think like it's like playing like two-layered chess, okay? Like everybody says Trump plays 4D chess. This is 2D chess, okay? They want you to believe that, they want you to get sucked into it. That's best case scenario. The next thing they want is distraction, okay? And you get, and so you tune it out. But what they're really trying to do is discourage everybody. They're trying to throw so much at us that we give up and we blackpill. That to them is the ultimate. That is what their main goal is, that we feel so overwhelmed that it's impossible and we give up and we just accept the best deal they'll give us. That's what they want more than anything else. And so distraction, yes, partially, but that's not what they're mostly going for. Brett, why can't she fall and slip? I mean, it might come. It might come. You lost your job. Can you leave the country and come back as illegal? You probably could, honestly. You just got to throw away your ID and stuff. Wonder if Magic Mike's Obama's favorite movie. That's the joke of the night right there. Harris Haley. No, Haley would ruin. Haley has ambition, and she wants to be in control at some point down the road. So she's going to be a good little buddy right now, and she's going to toe the line so that she can move in and have another chance someday. If Haley bails, she will never have another chance anywhere. And so that's what can't happen. She already endorsed Trump. She's not going to be able to walk that back. Brett, in all actuality, looking at the chart of border crossings, crack market should actually be going down with minuscule interceptions. Borders are a complete failure. 100%. Thomas, you could have left, come back across the border, instead of starting a GoFundMe, getting on stamps for the first time in your life, throw you a sombrero. Yeah. And Thomas, you probably would get free healthcare just to add on top of that. All right. This is fun. So last night, what was one of the things that got brought up? Oh, they denied the election and it was stolen. And it wasn't. It's clear it's just a lie. Today, Georgia election board member apologizes to the people for not taking election fraud claims seriously after overwhelming evidence of fraud finally presented to the board. It took us 3 years to hear this case, and I apologize profusely to Mr. Joe Rossi and Kevin Moncla for that. Here's the video. I shared it on my Twitter, recommend watching it and sharing it and getting it out there, because Georgia, the amount of evidence that's coming out in Georgia and Arizona right now is beyond overwhelming. And it is full on. There is no case anymore to be made that there wasn't stolen election in at least those 2 states. And if it's in those 2 states, you better believe all the other ones were right about as well. So this is just getting crazy. And I wish my little buddy Jordan was here to see this, but of course he couldn't take it another night. Harrison Buttigieg, you think it might be Buttigieg if they're desperate, if they can't get anybody else. And already we've had Whitner drop out, Cooper drop out, Newsom can't do it. They're losing their best stars on the bench. And right now I'm hearing it's between Shapiro, who just canceled an event, which is interesting, Mark Kelly, who's their best chance at having a moderate on there, a moderate in name only, but still he'll appeal as a moderate, and then Buttigieg, which is, I think, their last ditch effort, because they know he sucks. They know nobody likes him, but at least it'd give him something on there to celebrate. The first gay man. By the way, there's a lot of talk in DC that Buttigieg actually isn't gay, that he plays the part because it helps him with the Democratic votes. So isn't that interesting? And so that's the word in DC, by the way. And I heard that the other day, and it's very interesting. It makes sense, because that's what Democrats do. They lie. Danielle, you think giving extra people free health care is taken away from us citizens with employer paid-ins? Can't get in to see an oncologist till January 2025 for surgery diagnosed in March. Oh my God, Danielle, that's so awful. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's terrible. An oncologist till January 2025? That's crazy. What state are you in? LMI, Paul Ryan, Mitch McConnell, all backs up Trump. That's 100% true. Yeah. Haley's in the same crowd. She is. Yeah, she's a full-on neocon. Harris RuPaul. I like that one. It is disgusting. It took 3 years. Brett, in TLDR, what happened with this guy last night? Jordan, you mentioned in a TLDR. What is TLDR again? I'm sorry. My brain's not there right now. Harris Dennis Rodman. Pete Booty Juice as Biden. Yeah. Harrison OJ. OJ just died. So that's too funny. Okay. Pennsylvania. Oh, okay. Man, are you in one of the city areas? Because that would make sense why it put so back. Perpetual loser Beto. Listen, if Beto became the VP, I would laugh for probably a week straight. That guy is the biggest loser on the Democratic side. He's an even bigger loser than Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams hasn't won a damn thing, but she's black and she's a woman, so they still give her stuff. They give her attention. They let her do things like be in the new Star Wars show. They still, so she won. Like culturally, she won in that, even though she can't win a race to save her life. Beto is the biggest loser of them all. Lost the race for Senate, turns around, runs for president, gets smashed, and now they don't want anything to do with him. Oh, too long didn't read. Okay. Last night there was a guy. I'll just be quick about it because it was annoying. But there was a guy in the chat who he was trying to come across as a nice guy, but he was also constantly just throwing up Democratic talking points that were insane. But he was also saying like, but I like you because you're for the markets, MMTLP stuff. So I tolerate it. I probably tolerated it too much, but I also shut down all his arguments. Buttigieg is pulling a Chuck and Larry. That is exactly what he's doing. Midnight shop vac support. That's so funny. Jack, no notification? Oh, sorry, brother. All right, guys, this is Big Data Poll. This is the poll run by Rich Baris, People's Pundit, who I think is the best pollster out there. I also think, therefore, this is the best poll out there. It's the most honest. And I highly recommend his show. He runs it on YouTube and Rumble Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at noon Eastern. It is a fantastic show. He is so knowledgeable about DC and understanding the polls. And so this is his latest poll, and I just want to go over it because I believe with knowing him, it's the most likely to be accurate. Okay, so we'll just go through a couple things here. But right now he has Trump up 1.2% over Harris. Now, he even says that this is normal for the catch-up because of respondents. He doesn't believe that this is actually 100% of the nation. And he's honest about that, okay? But even his poll just has Trump up by 1, and he's a big Trump guy. All right, he is a big Trump guy. So he has him up by 1. It's over here. I'm going to have to make this smaller to fit. So there you go. And then, but here's the biggest thing to pull away, though. Trump is still winning. And as long as a Republican is winning an election like this, it's over. It's over because the Democrats always get more people responding and it trends in their direction. That's just how it happens. Okay, so if he's winning, it's over. But here's some of the interesting stuff. I won't go over the policy part, but he had a point. Oh, where was it? He says favorability approved. Let me see where it is. Did he say that and then not put it up here? Oh, here it is. Okay. All right. This is a big deal. Former President Trump's image consistently improving over the last few years. The first time since his inauguration in January 2017, both his favorability and approval ratings are majority positive. Favorability and approval ratings are majority positive. 52% approve of how he handled president. So basically, he would have the highest presidential approval right now since Obama when he first came in. That's nuts. Only 45% now disapprove of Trump. That alone will win him back the presidency. 32% strongly approve, 52% approve. That means 52% when polled look back on Trump's presidency and say, oh yeah, I think he was great. And if he's over 50%, there's no going back. And this is a past positive. It's not going to change going forward on how they look at it. All right. And now his favorability is now majority positive, 50.5%. Do you guys know how crazy that is? His favorability at the best, even when he was president, was like 40%. And now he's got a favorable impression on over half the electorate. You can't lose at that point because he's already been president. This isn't a newcomer where there's going to be new stuff coming out about him. This is a guy we've had in the public eye for almost 9 years now. We know everything about him. So that means Trump gets more liked the longer he's around, which is the opposite of every single other person who's run for office. The more Kamala's out there, the more people are going to hate her. Obama, the more he was around, the less people liked him. Biden has the lowest approval rating since Carter. Bush's approval ratings were tanked. Clinton, same thing. This doesn't happen. You don't get more popular the longer you're in office. It just doesn't happen, or the longer you're around running for stuff. So that's actually absolutely huge, and that's really should be the big takeaway from this. Okay, so that just the fact that he's up only 1% on her, don't even worry about that. Don't even worry about that, because even in that, which is a fairly unfavorable poll compared to where he's been, the fact is he's crossed a major threshold. Because once you're over 50%, you just can't lose. You just can't lose. So that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. And so I had to share it. Okay, next. Do you guys know this guy, Ian? He is excellent, puts out excellent content. I don't agree with everything he says because he's a little bit center left, but still a great guy and great clip. But I wanted to share this tonight because he was a liberal who's now waking up. And he's sharing all this stuff, and what he has to say here is great. So let me catch up on comments real quick, and then I'm going to play this video real quick. Beto lost governor, Texas, and Southern. Oh, I forgot he ran for governor, too. That's so crazy. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, going to Tampa, Florida for surgery. Wow, that's crazy, Danielle. Just Mike, Buttigieg pretends to be gay, Kamal pretends to be black, Warren pretends to be Indian, and Obama pretends to be American, Biden pretends to be president. That is so true. So true. Harris, Oprah, and a cartoon. Yeah, that was from a 2020 cartoon on Amazon. I can't remember what it was, though. So crazy. But anyways, while I'm taking a breather, please, guys, would you like, share, subscribe? Please appreciate it. If you're new here, really would like to get my subscription numbers up because they've been trailing lately. And I know there's people watching who aren't subscribed because I see you. I see you in my analytics. And then everybody else, if you just share, if you got see me on Twitter, I greatly appreciate it. What's up, Adventures? You are a little late tonight. Just Mike, I can't believe Ace said Buttigieg sucks. I didn't catch it. All right, A1A. Jim, race is too close. We need paper ballots, not machines. I disagree, Boswell, that the race is too close. The race was close in 2020 when Biden was polling 7 points ahead. The race was close. The race was close in 2016 when Trump won, when Hillary was polling 3 to 6 points ahead, and he still won. A Republican being in the red means the race is not close. However, you're absolutely right. We still all have to show up. We have to overwhelm the cheating, but the cheating is going to be much harder this time. Much harder this time. But as long as everybody shows up, it's over. It's over. Center left's a pretty good analogy, right, Liquid? I'm sure the views are down, Adventures. Yeah. Tinfoil hat when you listen to him, that's true. Yeah. But he has some really good stuff. 101 on the likes. Thank you, BN Pro. Yeah, let's get those likes up. Thank you. All right, listen to this. This is really good.
The Democratic Party is currently the CIA party, okay? If you aren't aware of this, open your eyes. I am from there. I am one of you guys. And clearly, it has been co-opted. I was once a liberal and I was once a Democrat, and we used to believe in anti-war, duh, anti-big corporations, duh, regulate the big corporations like big pharma, like big agriculture, like the military industrial complex and the banking sector. We used to believe in holding the powerful accountable, in freedom of speech, because that is essential to journalism. And somehow a whole bunch of people have been tricked into thinking that the Democratic Party now stands for war at all costs. Otherwise, you're going to kill democracy. Don't question Pfizer or any big corporation because they have your best interest in mind as they pay for your advertising on your news stations. Don't hold anyone accountable, least of all the banks post 2008, as Obama comes in and bails them all out. The fuck happened to the Democratic Party? It's about time we go back and take back the left. Not even to mention that, now suddenly you can be pregnant and a man. It's like, science? We'll just edit science. Let me remind you that science is built on questions. The whole foundation of science is that anything scientific is replicable, as in, if it's true, you can replicate that experiment and you'll get the same result. And it's only through asking questions, forming hypotheses, and testing those hypotheses that we know what's real. And anyone can read science, anyone can understand science, and anyone can practice science. And if you're not supposed to question the science, that's not science. That's dogma. That's corporate propaganda. That is totalitarian bullshit shoved down your throat so hard you can't breathe.
Isn't this fantastic?
And I don't mean I took a fuckload of fentanyl and I'm about to die, can't breathe. I mean open your fucking eyes, guys.
Anyways, I had to share that. It was unbelievable. It was so good. The fact that he was a Democrat recently, in recent years, and now he's saying all these things. It shows you that it's gotten to the breaking point. And so anybody who at all is a critical thinker, anybody who at all is intellectually honest is moving away from this stuff and waking up. And this is such a good rant he does because he's right. The Democrats are in bed with all that. There's still some Republicans there too, especially on the CIA deep state stuff. But it's really changing, and the Democrats are all in, whereas the Republican Party is in the mode of reformation right now. It's being reformed. It's becoming the party of MAGA, okay, or Trumplican. So anyways, I had to share that because it was so good, because he's absolutely right. They're not even a party anymore, the Democrats. I wouldn't even know what to call them. They're just a wing of an establishment footprint that's embedded in of a state. Because listen, they don't have real votes. They don't run primaries. They're not democratic. Their name is a joke. There's nothing democratic about the Democratic Party at all. It is literally the statists who are just embedded like a tick in our government. and trying to control everything. They're parasites. And the only chance is for the people to rise up with, right now, Trump is our leader. It could be somebody else, but just so happens to be Trump. He's our chance. And that's the only way is to weed them out. That's it. They're so embedded. They just, as they are, have to be destroyed, not in a violent way, but in this way where we overwhelm them through votes. Mike says, I don't think the Republicans are ready. I disagree with you. And this is one of the reasons I disagree, is the entire time Trump was running in 2020, he kept saying they're going to rig the election. He was warning us. If you go back and read or watch some clips, he says it like 10 times at different events, over and over and over again. He said it throughout the year. They were going to rig the election. This time he's not saying the same thing. He's saying we're going to win. He's saying we're going to overwhelm them and win. I think he knows. Chris Johns, how do we sign up for the $3 a month membership to get the member videos? So the member videos on YouTube, you just have to be a YouTube member. So you can join. If you're on an Apple device, you're going to have to go into your Safari browser, turn it to desktop mode, then go to my YouTube channel through the desktop mode. And that's the only way to join on Apple, because Apple and Google hate each other. Jim, all the woke stuff's not science. That's right. Yeah. like a man, like a sturgeon. Yeah. Thomas, the dude's a truth teller. He is, man. At least he's honest about seeking truth, for sure. When did the Democrats change? It always had been there. Both the Democrats and Republicans were very establishment, and it got worse and worse, especially starting with George Bush 1. So it was the Republicans who really started it. And then it became Clinton was really getting bad, especially Hillary behind the scenes. Then the Bushes got in, and it just continued. And then Obama was the one who fully co-opted the party and to just completely be automatons for the state. And that's when it really changed, was under Obama. But Hillary was one of the biggest proponents of it too, because she led the party. Even though Bill was the figurehead, Hillary was a real leader before that. Trump again, I like that. Dem party is to be with the working man, but not anymore. It's a welfare and billionaire party. That's very true, Jim. Yep. He looks like Freddie Mercury. He does. He really does. And Jim, I mean, the Dems were very left in the Clintons were very left. In fact, Hillary ran on universal health care with Bill. Now, that was all shut down once Republicans came in 94, and it was just put off. But they were already turning it left in the 90s very sharply. How do you join the Patreon without doing the free trial? Already used the card used for the free trial won't let you use it. It won't let you even use the same card? That doesn't even make sense. I don't know, Tom. I guess you'd have to use another card or PayPal or something. I don't know. All right, let's keep moving. Okay, so this is exactly what Kamala is going through right now. It's the same thing that happened to McCain in 2008. After the RNC in 2008, when they brought on Palin, McCain shot up to 8 points ahead. I don't know if anybody remembers this, but I remember it very vividly. It was so shocking. And then it went down within a week or two. It went down very quick. Could have been fueled by response bias, but regardless, both the Palin pick and the coup to Harris gave a huge energy boost. This is what the Kamala surge is like for the Dems. I think it is. I think the Kamala surge is really going to wane over the next few weeks. Now, some polls will pick it up and others won't because they don't want that to pick up. Talk about momentum. So last night I shared this. They had this Blacks Against Harris call, and 70,000 showed up. That 70,000 is now up to 2.1 million views in less than a day. It's probably much higher by this point because this was at noon. But 2.1 million people showed up to watch Blacks Against Harris, while Democrat Dads for Harris had 220,000 views. This is 10 times more. So you get the beta dads, and look at them. Oh my God. Like, what's more beta than these guys? You get the beta dads watching for Harris, and then you get the blacks, which are supposed to be the coalition that's unbreakable for the Dems. 2 million views. That's crazy. So that's kind of where we're at. All right. This I had to share. There's litigation against Biden's FDA, and it's showing that the FDA in 2022 recommended approving puberty blockers to minors, despite noting these drugs are associated with increased risk of depression, suicidal. So This is going to be coming out. This is from a lawsuit going on, and this is now being exposed. So the FDA is actually what's promoting this under the Biden administration. This is how sick the Democrats are. They're coming for our kids. They're coming for our kids, and Kamala will just be worse. This is funny. ABC News now says the U.S. government recognizes Edmundo Gonzalez as the presidential election winner. Big deal, right? Even America now, which this tells me that Maduro is going to be gone real soon. And Venezuela is going to go back to being whatever they want it to be. But they're kicking the communists out. This is awesome. This is awesome. Even our government can't ignore it. It's a huge deal, by the way. Absolutely huge that our government's actually doing this. But that shows you they felt they had to do this because they know an election's coming up. And this Venezuela thing's big news. And if they didn't speak out and support this, people would be going like, what? Why not? We're America. So they didn't want to do that. So, of course, they jump behind it. But this shows you, too, that Venezuela is more proof that we got this, guys. We can do this. We can get our country back very quickly if the people rise up. And again, I don't think we allow a stolen election to happen. I think, and this made me laugh, but he says the U.S. government now is an election denier. That's a great joke. But this, to me, now this is me speaking from my face side, so you guys can take it or leave it, depending where you're at. But I actually believe the reason this is happening with Venezuela right now, because it's a prophetic picture of what's going to happen for us, that they're not going to be able to steal our election. I really believe that's why God's allowing this to happen the same year, just 3 months before our election. The biggest communist country in the Western Hemisphere has just been overturned and rejected by its people and now the countries around it when they tried to steal their election. That is crazy. You can't write this in a book. People wouldn't believe it. I believe it's a prophetic picture saying, guys, you got this. Show up and don't let them take it and you'll be fine. I really, truly believe that in my heart. And I do believe we're going to be okay if we all show up. So, Adventures of Shogun says, thanks for being informative. Don't remember Democrat like this far left growing up. They weren't. It just got worse. And, well, it's not that they weren't. A lot of them were. They just didn't show it. They knew how to play the game better. But they got outspoken and bold about it once Obama came in because he was their savior. He was the great left hope. And he changed everything about how they started approaching things. They thought they could get away with anything once he won because he was so popular at first. Clinton spoke out about illegals in his 2 terms since it hurt jobs but did nothing. Yes, very true. Mike Lang, do I look like Smedley D. Butler back in 1935 Wall Street? Tried to put fascist government in the U.S. Look up. Okay. I don't quite know what you're saying, Mike. Is that a case? Smedley D. Butler? Pete is gay. He was the mayor of South Bend. Listen, I don't know. I just said that's something I heard. And I thought it was interesting. So it is crazy, huh, Adventures? Midnight. Everyone comes for the kids out to get life in prison without possibility of parole. I completely agree. Jim, if DJT wins, may Dems will be depressed and need therapy sessions. Listen, they already need therapy sessions. They hate themselves. They're a bunch of self-hating people. Liberal white women are the number one people most likely to be on SSRIs and talk about depression. And they believe men can be women. All this sick. They're sick in the head already. It'd be good for them to go to therapy. Let's see. White dudes for Harris. Damn, it says U.S. recognized last opposition winner in Venezuela also. Awesome. Well, this time it's different because the people are rising up, though. Yeah, amen, Thomas. Jim, Venezuela oil costs more to refine. It's a dirty oil. That's true. Absolutely. Yeah. Democrat platform's nihilist. We believe in nothing, Lebowski. Nothing. They're a bunch of nihilists. Must be exhausting. Sorry, that's my favorite movie of all time. Shining Bright, Smedley Butler. Okay, I'll have to look that up. That name sounds familiar now that you've seen that. Say that. I might have seen that once upon a time. But anyways, all right, guys, I'm gonna take off. My daughter wants to watch something with my wife and I tonight, so we have a little movie night planned. So I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna be father and husband. Go hang out with my family. I recommend you guys do the same if you got them. But love you guys. I appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. please. Really appreciate it. Trying to turn around what's going on my channel. And again, once I have time, which I have very little time right now, once I have time, I want to get to the point where I'm also dual streaming on Rumble in case anything happens here. But Doug asks real quick, do you still believe a market crashing will create squeezes in the stocks you've been discussing and will finger and other stocks get hard too? I really believe there will be squeezes. I really do. Yeah. It's going to be almost impossible for shorts to hold on to their positions in a stock market crash. Not saying impossible, but almost impossible. It'd be extremely difficult once all this liquidity dries up. So yes, I still think it'll happen. Thank you, Jack. Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. All right, let me pray and get out of here. And I don't know if I'll be on tomorrow. It's Friday. I might take the night off. I need a break. So, but we'll see. But members will there'll be a members live this weekend for sure. Okay, and there was Patreon class tonight. I finally got my Patreon class done. Financial class, all about eliminating debt and good debt versus bad debt and how the wealthy use debt. Okay, so that was the Patreon class tonight. So go check that out. Free trial if you're not a member on my Patreon. It's on my page. And then this weekend I'll be doing another course on the theology course. All right. So, all right, Heavenly Father, thank you for today. God, I know we're going to win. I just know we're going to win this. And so I just pray, God, that you just stir everybody to do whatever they need to do to make sure this wins. We win this in our country, God, this election, and get our country on track. I pray for everybody here that you guide them in how to act, what they can do. And God, I pray that everybody's also stirred to prayer, because prayer does change nations. Pray for healing for Thomas, Lord, that his body would just come back into wholeness, and healing for his finances as well. And I pray for just everybody here who has financial need, God, that you would bless them. You would give them surprises, Lord, they're just not expecting, and just make it feel like that hard times are extremely blessed times, and it doesn't make sense. And I pray for everybody's wisdom in navigating these crazy times. And as always, I pray for justice in our markets and our political system in our country. In Jesus' name, bless everybody here. Amen. All right. Love you guys. Bless you. Like, share, subscribe. And